Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can see here, we're doing another one of these fun videos where I show just a bunch of really cool snakes. Today these are not holdbacks. Today these are actually animals that I decided to list for sale this past weekend. Give me one second. I think there's some dust on my camera lens here. There we go. So I decided to offload what I had left of my Ultrapied project. I sold some snakes back in the sale in October. And there's kind of the smaller stuff, the stuff that I was kind of okay with getting rid of because I only had like one male at this point and some females that I held back from that I produced early last year. And I decided, you know what, because I don't have a whole lot of Ultramel in other projects, and I'm really heavily invested in DG Clown Pied and MJ Xanthic, Black Xanthic and Hypo, that I didn't really have a way to work in the Ultramel stuff. While I'd still be making cool snakes, I was counting up all my females, and I had like 40, 50, 60 females potentially next year that would breed, which is more than I really wanted to deal with. I mean, I haven't done over 30 clutches yet, and I would think that 40 is probably like the most I really want to do. So I decided it was time to release some of this Ultrapied stuff. So all of this stuff's already listed on Morph Market. They're not half off because they're too valuable to somebody. And this is stuff, these are all my personal holdbacks that I've kept for a year and a half, 2 years. There's a very, very highly curated selection of animals that I kept and held back. Just snakes that you've never seen. And the couple that I did sell already to somebody in my Patreon group, I explained it like this. The Ultrapied project's issue right now is that nobody is introducing codoms into the project. It is like Ultrapied after Ultrapied after Ultrapied, and if you can find anything with a codom in it, it's very few and far between. Well, I'm solving that issue for anybody that's interested in any of these snakes here because I have a ton of them. I was pretty smart with the pickup that I made back in 2021, which was an OD Leopard Firefly Ultramel Het Pied from Aussie. Turns out he was yellow belly, potentially Enchi as well. So he passed on a crap ton of genes to a bunch of snakes that I held back, and a bunch that I sold. And it basically gave me a ton of snakes that I've been growing up since then. I think these all hatched in 23, maybe late 22. Bunch of females. I had, I think, 10 females, and I sold maybe 2 or 3 of them already. And now I'm just going to decide to get rid of the whole project because I have so much other stuff. I'm so heavily invested in Clown and Lightning Pied and DG Pied and Black Xanthic Hypo Pied and then the triples and quadruples of those. So it's time to release these. So they're all on Morph Market. Like I said, they're not going to be half off sales at all. But what I am doing is if you buy 2 or more listings, they're going to be $500 each. So if you buy 1 listing, there's no discount. If you buy 2 listings, you're going to have a $500 discount on both. So that'll be $1,000 off total. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. $500 off. Yes, $500 off each. So you would be getting $1,000 off. So if it's $5,000 for both listings, normal price it would be $4,000. So what we have here, this is the first. This is actually a pair, and this is the only adult pair that I have. But here's where it gets cool. So the Ultrapied is a male. Obviously he's huge. He's like 1,500 grams or so, 1,400 grams, proven breeder. The female is one of my favorite females that I produced like a few years ago. So I believe she's an OD or possibly super OD Fire Leopard Pied, 100% het Ultramel. And if you can see this here, she's actually starting to ovulate. She's getting a little swollen here on her back end. She has had, I believe, 3 locks to this male, and she had 2 locks to a Pinstripe Clown het Ultramel. So obviously we're not going to know which one's the dad until, you know, a snake comes out. If we get a bunch of pieds or Ultrapieds, then you know which one it is. If you get some Pinstripe in there, then, you know, that's on the flip side. So we are just hoping that, I actually hope it's the Ultrapied that's the dad. But either way, she's like 1,700 grams. I'm selling these as a pair. They are, you know, obviously a proven breeding pair. She's probably going to be laying eggs for you. So to get a proven breeder male, a proven breeder, almost proven breeder female, adult size with a bunch of codoms that are able to make you ultrapieds is huge. So, you know, they don't have a discount just by themselves, but if you decided to add other females with him, those other ones would all be $500 off. So let me pull, actually let me put him away, and then I'll pull some other snakes out to look at. The rest of the groups that I have left. And there's some cool codoms in these that other people, I don't really know if they have yet either. So let's see. I don't know if I can really show, I don't know if that ovulation shows up there right in the middle of her body or not. But it's not big yet, but she's definitely starting to ovulate. Before I show the snakes I produced, I want to show a couple snakes that I actually purchased from Ozzy earlier this year that I ended up really probably shouldn't have bought, but that was hindsight. So this is an Ultrapied 100% het hypo female from Ozzy. She's 1,400 grams. She is ready to breed. Haven't bred her to anybody. I think Ozzy produced her in 2022 or 2021. He didn't breed her either. But she is kind of one of a kind snake. There are other Ultrapied het hypos on the market, but they're all babies. She's the only one that is ready to breed right now. So not a whole lot more to show there, but really cool snake, very powerful. A triple recessive adult female Ultrapied het hypo. Ready to breed. So there's one. So if you want to add her to the group with that male, $500 off. Each of them. This one, unfortunately, is super deep in shed, but another cool snake. This was directly from Ozzy. I think she's like 1,350 grams. I'll put new pictures up of her, you know, when she sheds out. But she's an Orange Dream Yellow Belly Ultramel Het Clown. She's the only one I have left in the Ultra Clown project. But again, if you wanted to pair her up with the Ultrapied male, you know, you're making some OD, YB, Ultramel Het Pieds Posset Clowns, which is a pretty fantastic project to be in. So that's really cool. She's a really powerful female. She is ready to breed and has not been paired to anything yet either. So that's pretty cool. She's a really powerful snake. So those are both from Ozzy. I picked both of those up from him this year. So, and actually the male that produced all of my Ultramel stuff that I made was actually from Ozzy as well. So all these snakes that I'm showing you are from Ozzy's stock. This was my favorite snake that I produced that year. She's an Ultramel Het Pied. I believe she's Orange Dream Yellow Belly Fire Leopard Ultramel Het Pied. Very hard ID. I wasn't able to ID anything else like her. Obviously a one-of-a-kind snake. Obviously super powerful. You will not find another snake like this on Morph Market. And I'm probably crazy for giving her up, but it is what it is. You know, again, I was thinking about keeping maybe like a small selection of this project, but to me they're so valuable and she's 900 grams now. They're so valuable to me just to kind of make the extra money. Now I'm actually selling this project off. I'm actually looking to pay off my truck. Just to have it paid off. I'm trying to I turned 40 next month and I'm trying to just get out of debt other than my mortgage. So I'm just trying to figure this project, you know, is a good way to do that. So I have some really powerful animals, some stuff that's never been on the market before. And she's one of them. So I love her. She's a beautiful, beautiful snake. And she's going to do a really good job of producing some insane looking Ultrapieds. So let me get her back. She's about, I think, around 950 grams or so. And let's see the other Ultramel. This one's actually really pretty too. She's about the same size. Now she is I believe she's a pastel, potentially ODYB. Ultramel Het Pied. I haven't seen anything exactly like her either. She's actually a little brighter. The colors come through a little bit more, I think, because of the pastel. I think the pattern on the other one's a little nicer, but the colors pop a lot more on her if that's showing up in the camera the right way. Again, almost ready to breed, 950 grams or so. Very powerful snake. Again, another Ultramel Het Pied snake that's never been on the market before. These snakes are just one of a kind. They are. You're not going to come across them again, and they're going to be really big shortcuts for somebody. So again, you pick up one snake, it is its price. If you pick up two, you knock 500 off, basically 20%, 15-20% off each snake. Because they are expensive snakes. These aren't going to be bargain bin snakes. If something happens that they don't get sold, by the time they're ready to breed, it's not going to be a big loss because I can just breed them and make clutches. But I was trying to kind of cut out some of the extra work for myself by not having a bunch of extra clutches around that I wasn't planning on keeping snakes from. But as you can see, she's very striking. She's a beautiful snake. All right, now we have some more pieds. Again, some more unique stuff. Now I think I have seen this gene, or I think I've seen cinnamon or black pastel in Ultrapieds, but she is a pewter, which is pastel cinnamon pied Het Ultramel. So you're going to have some of that kind of more rich color. Now these are going to be higher white pieds, but you're going to have more of that like rich, darker color in the Ultrapied. If she produces some cinnamon Ultrapieds, she's about, again, in that 950 gram range or so. But she's really pretty. She's a good eater. Really nice high white. If you're into high white, she's a beautiful snake and will make really cool Ultrapieds. So she's currently available too. And I have one more bigger one. Let's get her out. This one's a Mojave pied Het Ultramel. Mojave is one of my favorite genes in pieds. I love how it just makes kind of blank saddles. Well, there's no pattern in it. It's just kind of like a blank color. I think that's what makes my black Hyper Mojave Hypo pied pop so well, is because there's no design in it. It's just like a flat canvas. So she's Mojave pied Het Ultramel. 100% Het Ultramel, again, in that 950 gram range or so. So again, almost ready to breed. One of a kind snake that, again, these last two don't have a bunch of genes in them, but there are things that they've never been listed before, especially at this size. So she's a fantastic, awesome pickup. Alrighty, and the next two were produced earlier this year. They were, going to be holdbacks because there's only two that I kept. But again, decided that I just I'm leaving the project altogether. Now these two are very, very special to me. They're beautiful snakes, and I have no idea what they are. Basically impossible to ID. I guess you could do full panels if you want, but I don't know how much they would tell you. And they're hard because there's potentially 8 codoms between the parents. So the dad's an OD leopard, firefly, yellow belly, possibly NC Ultramel Het Pied. The mom was a Het Pied, black pastel bamboo. So there's between 7 and 8 codoms that could have come together to produce these. I do know they're both bamboo. You can tell from the design of them. You can tell they actually have blue eyes, even though it's like ultramelanistic, and the eyes are pink. You can still see the blue kind of tint to them. They're very bright eyes. This is the male here. These two are being sold as a pair. This is the male here. You can see a lot of that bamboo influence. There's even some kind of purpleness in those saddles there. He's got a very nice ringer here, if you can see that, if that shows up. So hopefully he proves out het pied because they're both pos het pied. He's about 400 grams. I think she's 350. She has a lot less visible pattern. It's very hard to see, but it is there. And you can see that stripe going down her back. Sort of, I don't know if those are considered ringers or not there on the side of her, but she's a really pretty snake as well. The two coolest ultra males that I've produced this year, but they're really, really kind of crazy looking snakes. And again, really neat pair to have. I'm very curious to see what they produce in the future. Again, these are hard to ID because they've never been produced before, and they're so bright yellow that, you know, unless you're you know, kicking up the contrast, you know, in Photoshop, it's probably near impossible to properly ID them. So let me get them away. And let's wrap up this video here. So all of these are currently listed on Morph Market. I did sell two that aren't in this video. Obviously, there's no reason for me to show them in here if they were sold. I already did sell 2 of females. You know, the prices on them are going to stay where they're at. I really don't feel the necessity to really give much of a discount on these at all because of how rare they are and how valuable they're going to be to somebody. This female, as she grows, if she gets into a pre-lay shed, I'm probably not going to sell her anyways until she lays eggs for me. So that pair, the adult pair, the first pair I showed, if you want to get them, now's the time to get them because you're getting a female who's most likely going to lay. She wouldn't be going into ovulation right now. She wasn't going to lay. She could reabsorb, but I don't think she's going to. She's had 5 locks between the 2 different males, and she's a nice size for her first time. So just really crazy stuff. These are literally my holdbacks, my crazy inventions that I'm deciding to part with. So, you know, if you're really in this project or looking to get into it, these are shortcuts that are really going to help propel you to the next level with it. These are going to produce things that nobody's producing. And that's how you get your foot in the door in the game. That's how you make money, quite honestly. I mean, you can't make money by making things that everybody else is making. So this is the way to get into that. And the reason I can charge a nice amount of money for these is because nobody else produces them. I'm probably being too competitive with the pricing on these. I can probably list some of these a little higher than I do have them listed, especially with me giving off $500 if you buy more than one. But it's something I'm trying to move quick. Winter's coming up. We got maybe a month left before shipping. Routes are closed off for the winter. By the time these things are able to ship again in January, they're probably going to be all breeding size, and I'm going to be breeding them at that point. I'm not going to stop breeding them. If I keep them through the winter, and they're at breeding size, that ultrapied male is going to get bred to these females, which at some point are going to start producing follicles and ovulate and eggs for me. So grab them before that happens. It's the best time to do it because the prices at that point for them are probably going to go up, I would assume. But they're available now. Check them all out on Morph Market. Let's make a deal.